Hello. Hi, graphic designers. Erica Fecco here. This is the week 1 assignment overview. Once you log on to your classroom, go to the assignment page and read the prompt carefully. What you're going to be doing is creating a three double-sided flashcards within InDesign. Let's go ahead and head over to InDesign. First, what you want to do is download this document here. Let me show you what that is. It is the list of the different graphic errors that you can choose from. You're going to choose 3 of these. And this link will take you to the page that has all the different errors on them. Okay, an example of each. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be doing this same process 3 times. So once you have which style you want to do, I'm going to go ahead and choose grunge. I'm going to go ahead and copy this image. You can also go and use any of the resources online. You can find images anywhere online. There's also some within this document here as well for you to be able to use imagery from here as well. You're able to use imagery from wherever you like, as long as it's from that era. Okay, so we're going to start off in InDesign. So what I'm going to be doing is starting a new file. File, new document. And if we look back, let me just go ahead and do a full screen share so you can see everything that's going on. We are going to come back to our page that tells us exactly what size and everything we need. So our flashcards need to be 5 by 7. So let's come back, and in our new document, we'll come over here and create the width and the height. So we want it 5, but what units do we want to use? Inches, right? So it's going to be 5 inches by 7 inches, and we'll start off with 1 page and hit create. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the image that I found as a resource. Again, you can use any of the ones on that page or any other page out there online as long as you reference it. Okay, so I'm going to resize it so I only see that guy. I'll come over here to my frame fitting and get it back to where it was there. Okay. Do not want to stretch the images, of course. So of course it can be landscape or horizontal portrait size, whichever one that you want to do depending on your own design. You're also going to come back here, and each one has to have an image and then also all of these items. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste that in over here into a text. Okay, so you need to, where it says name the error, you're of course going to type in the name of the error, the dates, the picture of the designer. You need to know that where the picture's from and that represents the error. You're going to give the title of it. You're also going to give a little description and summarize the key terms, elements of that era, contemporary design application for the style. What kind of client might this style be appropriate for? So within this text box, that's basically what you'll be adding in. Once you get all of that content in, so of course the name of the error is grunge, okay. I'm not gonna really step through every single little piece of it, but here's a little bit of information about it and what the look and feel is and things that you can add to it. But that's gonna have to be your own writing. I'm really just demoing here how to kind of lay out the work, okay. So it's gonna be a front page of the flashcard and the back page of the flashcard. So we'll come up here to our pages and we will add another page to the page. Okay, now we have 2 here. I don't really think I want that one here, so I'm just going to trash that one page. So we have page 1 and page 2. And let's put this one here, bump it around. It's keep beeping at me. Let's add another. I'm going to go ahead and take this single one out. I don't want him here by himself. Let's get rid of that. So we're just kind of individual pages. And each one will have a front and a back. So this will be page 1 and page 2. Okay. And let's just get rid of the 1. All right, so this will be the back. And basically you're going to be coming between these two. And on your second page is what they're asking for is to add in the color scheme that represents that era, and also make sure that the citation of the content and imagery used. So you're going to want to add in the text for where that file was found. So of course you guys know how to do an APA format of how to address and cite things properly. So we will put the citing on the back page here. And basically you're just going to be finding all the colors that are used in this era. So during your research, you're going to want to maybe identify some of the colors. This allows us to create all those color swatches. So I'm going to base my piece on to the back here. And some of the things that represent grunge are kind of this messy, dirty sort of look. So I'm gonna first off kind of address fonts, because font is usually one of the first things that represents a style in there. And I did post in the announcements places where you can find different fonts, but I already have a great font here. Let's see. It's called Grunge itself. Isn't that great? Easy enough, right? Let's bump that up a little bit. And, you know, let's give it a little bit of additional color here too. I think that's another font is necessary, a combination of different fonts. No, that one really doesn't represent it too much. And of course you can go and find 1,000,001 different fonts online. I think this harder edge, less sans serif, you know, would be a good one here. This one looks nice. I think that would work. And add some color to it too. So on this back page, you want to come back here, and this is where you're going to add the citations that I mentioned, but you're also going to make a design that represents that era. So we're going to create some graphics using the CRAP technique to kind of give it a look and feel of grunge. So I'm going to go back and get my color swatches for this guide. And let's go ahead and add that to what we have. And come back over here. And I'm just going to give some of these colors. I'm going to add some other shapes. Give it some of that color. Let's go with this green. You could do whatever shapes you think kind of represents that era. They had a lot of lines. You know, that was one thing that I noticed as well. But they were kind of had a texture to them. And that might be a little bit easier to do in, say, Photoshop or one of the other ones, but this is kind of a nice tool that allows you to simply create the pencil tool. That kind of looks grungy and messy, right? And we can change the colors. Of course, allows you to go through all the different settings and changing those up. I want to get rid of those straight lines. And some of the other things that'll allow you to, maybe we want to add some gradation to that one that was selected. I think that looks pretty cool, where it's there, but it starts kind of growing off almost like it's erased. We can also create some, alter these images, but let's look back at our inspiration piece of the era. It has a nice rounded and has a lot of those splots, a lot of kind of dirty textured layers. But also what's going on with the font too, it's kind of going in multiple directions, some large, some smaller. Adding those variations in allows you to change it up a little bit and to add in some space and repetition as well. So say we want to repeat this guy in a few different spots. So we'll just select, and if you hold down Option, you can create a few of them. Oops. You can also see what your other options are. And we'll make a few of those. And of course, we don't want to lay them all in the same spot. And we'll rotate them a little, even making them different sizes. Move things around. I really did like on that inspiration piece how the eye kind of came in from the top and from the upper corner and down. I'm going to try to replicate that in my piece here. So while I'm creating a little bit of texture, I'm going to add in, I'm actually going to use the rectangle tool because I want it to be a pretty fat line. A nice skinny straight line. I'm going to use the picker so I can get my swatches. Add my swatch to that. I'm going to bring this guy in and kind of take him across the page. And I'll select these. So I'm going to bring those to the front. I don't want him to come forward, and I don't want the long one to come forward. I only want these shapes to come forward. So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to not align, not transform. We want to do the arrange and bring them to the front. Bring them forward all the way to the front. I think that's starting to look a little grungy, right? I think we need to soften this up a little bit. Let's add maybe I don't want a stroke on it, so you guys already know how to come over and remove a stroke, right? Say no stroke. I'll swatch that. And I want a different color in there. Of course, I don't want that color because, well, I think we do need some black, don't you? Yes, I think so. So let's go ahead and keep that black. And let's curve out some of these other edges on some of these. I want to kind of move these things around a little bit. I like how that's repeating the path there, adding some symmetry to it. What do you think? I also want to add in maybe a little bit of this other color and maybe a bit more texture. So how about we add a little bit more pencil. Let's add some texture down here. I'm just kind of scribbling along, see how that all ends up. Come back over to my properties. And let's see how we can switch up this stroke a little bit. Maybe we want to make it bigger, smaller. We can even take it down to 0.25, even smaller. We can even change the opacity here, bringing that down some. And we can even add some additional settings here to allow us to really give it a different look and feel. So it has a bit of continuity between the contrast of the colors. What's some other things that you can see? Maybe we want to add a bit more repetition, and we want to add a few of these. That gives it a bit more repetition. I think I want to maybe add a few of these guys, but I want them kind of spinning out from other locations. And I don't want those in the front. So again, I'm going to arrange those and send that guy to the back. And maybe we'll have some more grunge. So let's add a bit more of these guys. See where we can slide this all over. I know it looks kind of like a mess, but there is reason behind all of it, okay? We added these things trying to give it the texture, and coming back to our inspiration piece, come back to the other piece, and add other things that you may want to add that represents. I think one of the things it says is adding coffee stains. I mean, how crazy is that? How would we be able to do something like that? I think it would allow us to do a bit more. We can create a graphic in Photoshop and then bring it over and paste it in. A Photoshop would allow us to do a bit more texture work than you can do in InDesign. InDesign's more for actually creating the layouts of the cards themselves. So once you have your front page, all this on, and then you have your second page, you're gonna have a total of 6 pages, guys. Okay, so we want to add 3 pages for the front and 3 pages for the back. So you're having 3 different eras. And of course you wanna save it out. And you're going to, what does it say to save it as? Your first name, your last name, right? My first name, Erika, and Fecco, assignment 1, and save. And then, of course, always go back and carefully read the assignment instructions, okay? You'll be created the double-sided flashcards. So the requirements is that they're 5 by 7. You will have 3 for each card, 3 front and 3 for the back. The front needs to have the name, the dates, yada, yada, yada. You can read all that. Make sure on the back that you add the color scheme that represents the era and also the citations of the image that you used. And then, of course, save it and export your file as a PDF for submission, okay? Here again are some examples of some A work that students have done. And I think I showed this in the lecture, but just to show you again, this student added the graphic, there's the era and the name, the title, all those pieces, and then they represented it with just the solid lines because this era says that the illustrations and the images feel very busy, but it's also the borders and also made design style with the good advertisement. And those are the options there. And then another one here has nice balance. I mean, it's so simple, guys. You can really just add the colors in. I want to see some sort of tie between this image that's on your styles, your sample page, have some type of influence. So when I look at this, I can say, oh, this looks like it is from the postmodern era. And it should be able to kind of represent that era. Instead of just putting dots on a page, guys, This one I can reason because there's the circles and then there's circles here. So that makes sense. Okay, but this one I would have liked to have seen a little bit more decorative work, especially since they chose the Victorian era and it needs to have some of that decorative work. But basically that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick overview on how to do it.